Right guys, just a very quick one here, showing you a few extracts from a BBC interview this haulage boss took part in earlier today. As many of you will know, Boris caved and offered 5,000 visas to foreign truck drivers to come and work over here. This was a short-term solution to a problem that's literally been around for a while now. I will actually be doing a live stream with Rev Simon Sideways very soon, since he is a HGV driver and knows what is actually going on. Furthermore, he has videos on it already that you can check out on his channel, linked in the video description below. Today though, I want to focus on this mass immigration-loving ponce that thinks the 6-month visa offer in this short-term solution is not enough. Obviously, to me it's far too much, but we're not going to go through that in this one here. We're just going to tear apart this tosspot like I said. He wants it to be a 5-year visa, despite himself saying it would only take 12 months to train the people up to actually do this job. This to me suggests he's only interested in cheap labour and a good supply of it for at least the next 5 years. This is something we all know, and even Boris himself has admitted that the industry wants to keep cheap labour, which of course they bloody do. Money talks and bullshit walks at the end of the day. Paying less money for drivers helps the company balance sheets and obviously keeps the shareholders rich. Government ministers and MPs alike get lobbied by big business to keep the flow of migrants coming in to drive down wages, as most of you know. It's not exactly a secret to anyone who actually bothers to look. But here, take a look at a few segments I chopped out of this tit, not only contradicting himself, but showing his love for mass immigration when, like I said, it's really not needed and only a short-term solution for something like this.
It's a fascinating illustration of the problem of the shortage. So, what we said to the road haulage industry was, fine, give us the names of the drivers that you want to bring in, and we'll sort out the visas. We've got another 5,000 visas. They only produced 127 names, and so far. And what that shows is the global shortage. Now,
on the comments the Prime Minister made about the shortage of drivers, HGV drivers. And joining me now is Steve Granite, who is the CEO at Abbey Logistics Group, which is a leading bulk tanker logistics service provider. Thank you for joining us today, and some very interesting comments from the Prime Minister, Steve. And one of the things he said in response to the news that only 127 drivers have responded to the government's emergency visa scheme was that he had asked, or the government had said to the Road Haulage Association, give us the names of drivers you want, and they've only produced 127 so far. So he seemed to be placing the responsibility on the Road Haulage Association. What's your reaction to that?
I think it's just the government trying to deflect their incompetence once again onto the sector. What we've asked for is work visas, 5-year work visa. You've got to think practically, who's going to leave their country in a 2-week window to come and work in the UK for 6 months, only to be told to go back home after that? It was never attractive in the first place, and it was never going to work.
Okay, so you're very clearly saying that this emergency visa scheme isn't the right way to go about tackling the shortage, in your opinion. It's simply not attractive enough for drivers to come from abroad?
No, it was never going to work. For someone to come here for 6 months and then have to go back home, it's not going to work. So what we're asking for is to put the HGV drivers onto the skilled worker list, where they can come and apply for the 5-year work visa. But, pay rates have gone up by 20-30%. The sector can't do much more than that. And the problem is, even when we attract drivers, there's not enough testing capacity. So the government says the grand scheme of we've increased testing capacity. I cannot get tests for 14 drivers who want to come and join the company from a class 2. I cannot book a test for them.
The other key point that the Prime Minister made on this supply chain issue was that the difficulties in recruiting drivers, well, he said that was down to a global shortage. Is there a global shortage as far as you're aware? Or do you think that post-Brexit the UK is a less attractive place for drivers to come, combined with that point you were making about the short emergency visas?
Yeah, there's definitely a global shortage, but the UK is in a far worse position than most of the countries. And, I can tell you firsthand, there's not a lack of interest in joining this sector. On a daily basis, we're getting emails from drivers from the EU and beyond wanting to come and join, but unfortunately we can't give them the long-term prospect that they require. It's tough. Every day you're fighting to recruit, you're fighting to retain. We're doing well on our recruitment, but we need to improve retention. But the fact of the matter is we've probably got 30 trucks in depot stood with no drivers, but I've got plenty of work. There's lots of food we need to move, and at the moment we can't move everything that we need to move.
So do you predict an ongoing impact in the weeks and months ahead up to Christmas, perhaps beyond?
It's definitely going to go beyond Christmas. This is even if we had 100,000 drivers knock on the sector door tomorrow and said, I want to join, become a HGV driver, it would take government over 12 months just to get them through the tests. That's at best. So they need to increase testing capacity extremely quickly. Use the Ministry of Defence, use the private sector, and look at putting HGV drivers on the skilled worker list.